From my childhood to my adolescent years, I grew up in a constant state of self-doubt. I doubted my skills, and sometimes I even doubted whether I was worthy of other people's time. It was only until I started to learn about psychology and behaviour, and I was more deliberate about my environment, that I started to change how I thought about myself. So today, I want to be talking about the 3 best things that help me improve my confidence. Apps like Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat have the potential to connect people. But at the same time, it also shoves people's photoshopped, unrealistic images onto our timeline. And many of us see this and feel some sense of dissatisfaction with ourselves. We're not successful enough, we're not pretty enough, we're not handsome enough, we're not smart enough. And as famously said by Theodore Roosevelt, comparison is the thief of joy. Ultimately, these apps have been designed to be as addictive as possible, regardless of how they make you feel. This doesn't mean that you can't use the apps anymore. I use Snapchat and Instagram, but it just means that it's probably a good idea to be more selective of how you use these apps. Since I started following close friends and family on social media and no one else, I've actually found that I've been more productive and how I view myself has actually been healthier. When we are babies, we see how much we need to cry to get attention. As children, we try to figure out how to be the popular kid. As teenagers, we try to figure out how to get this boy or girl that we like to like us back. And as adults, we try to get a promotion and we try to get a bigger salary and all the fast car and all this kind of stuff. From the day we're born to the day that we die, our brains are taking in life, stimuli, experiences, and trying to find out how to get what we want. But ultimately, how we feel about ourselves is also based on these experiences. If your experiences are that you fail all your exams, if your experiences are that you don't get noticed by the person you have a crush on, and that you keep on making excuses for being healthy, getting good sleep, and going to the gym, then your brain will come to the conclusion that you're not very smart, you're not attractive, and that potentially you look like shit. And in this case, unless you're a narcissist, most people will not convince themselves that they have much value. And in this case, what you need to do is not sit around and wait for motivation to act on the things you want to do. You need to create the motivation. You won't be motivated to study. Hell, you definitely won't be motivated to go to the gym. But if you start doing this, you start doing the things that you need to do, whether that is exercising or studying more or working on your projects, whatever it is, you're changing these patterns of your experiences, which again, the brain ultimately uses to measure how it feels about itself. And if you do these things, despite how you feel, your brain will eventually start seeing results, and then you'll think to yourself, oh crap, I can actually do this. So in short, the action usually precedes the motivation unless you start getting results. Then it starts getting a bit easier, but even then you won't always feel like doing it. Once I realised this, I started working on myself, even if I didn't feel like it, and it got to the point where it started to become a force of habit, and then eventually I started to see results, whether it was sleeping more or improving certain skills. At the end of the day, it eventually will have an impact. Most people are aware of the statement that you are the 5 people closest to you, and this does have a lot of truth to it. Even if you are a fairly mindful person, the people that you spend the most time with will rub off on you, or at the very least they will influence how you feel. This is really important to take into account, because even if you are successful in something, there are people who are insecure in themselves and they will criticize the accomplishments of other people. Or even if they're not insecure themselves, there are people who just really lack compassion and they don't want to give any support to other people. There used to be people in my close circle who didn't care about my needs. They didn't care about what I was up to. Hell, sometimes I felt like an inconvenience just being in their company. And something I learned from Steve Bartlett, and this was a difficult truth, was that no one in life gets a free pass, no matter if they're friends or family. While I do think relationships are reciprocal and they should work both ways, If someone doesn't support you, they don't respect you, they don't support your needs, and they're also selfish about their own wants and desires, then they have no right to be in your life. You don't owe them anything. Over the last few years, I've been a lot more deliberate about who I spend time with, and the difference this has made in my confidence and mental health has been insane. We only have a limited amount of time on this planet. It's too short to be spending it with toxic people. Ultimately, if someone makes you feel like crap, they don't get a free pass. You don't owe them anything. Spend your time with those that support you and want to help you in life, and help them back, and I can almost guarantee that things will be better in the long run, and that you will probably feel better about yourself. If you enjoyed this video, then you might also enjoy the video I did here where I reviewed the book Atomic Habits, which is arguably one of the best productivity books of all time. Thanks for watching, I'll see you there. Adios amigos.